Sometimes I'd bring groceries to their apartment and make them fried fish or pork chops and macaroni and cheese. Pause. Well, we know Puff ain't giving them enough money to eat, so good for you. Because like I said before, babe, you the only motherfucking bad boy getting paid.
I don't hear nobody out there. Hold it down. Hold it down.
Look, some of y'all in the comments be like, Nay, you don't read long enough. Listen, do you know how much work I put into these videos, homie? You know how much time it takes to release these videos? Let me tell you something. A 10-minute video equates 2 hours worth of editing. 15 minutes, maybe about 3 hours. So I apologize if I'm not giving you enough reading time. But you know if you don't like it, you know you can go buy the book and pick the motherfucker up and read it yourself. Doobie and Creamy would check up on me when Big was out of town. They were long-time Brooklyn residents and had an ear to the street on everything going on. Although I met them through Big, we ended up being cool. I could count on them to help me to do little things if Big wasn't around. One afternoon, they came by the apartment to hang out while I was in town briefly between tour days. Let me tell you, what's her name? Doobie and Creamy. They informed Faith, what I think you need to do, Faith, is to get the hell out of here. Because the word is that the peoples is watching you. Faith, like, why the fuck is the peoples watching me for? Yeah, man, Creamy said. People know where y'all live. And cats be seeing you on television and shit. Gotta be careful. I was petrified. And at that moment, something clicked inside me. I'd already known that my marriage was in serious trouble. And now I was living in an apartment practically by myself. By the time Doobie and Creamy left, I'd already made up my mind that I was leaving the apartment. I had these 2 huge bags, the kind hockey players used to hold their hockey sticks and bulky uniforms. Oh, girl, that's a duffel bag. I grabbed my hockey bags and stuffed them with all my clothes and shoes and China stuff. I left all the furniture, the dishes, Big's clothes, everything. I'm going to say this about their relationship. They are still very young. And Faith and Biggie both did not know how to have a relationship, let alone a marriage. Because whether you're mad at your husband or not, you take his shit too. Let me tell you something. If something go down, I don't care if me and my wife are at each other's throat. You hear me? Which sometimes we are. But I'm taking her shits because that's my partner. And it shows selfishness when you leave your partner's stuff there. In Big's mind, he's looking at it like, damn, she left the apartment and she didn't take my stuff? She leaving me? With that, if I was Big, I would assume that she left me. I had gone from a spacious apartment that I shared with my husband to a tiny, bland hotel room in Midtown Manhattan. I sat on the hotel bed, cradling China in my lap, and tried to gather my thoughts. Professionally, everything in my life was falling into place. I knew I still loved Big and our relationship was not over. So why didn't you grab his shit too? I knew I still loved Big and our relationship was not over yet. But I wasn't going to let his drama stop me from doing what I needed to do. For the next 2 months, I was on autopilot and my health suffered, okay? So what she was saying was she was smoking weed, she was smoking Black and Milds, and these Indian hand-rolled cigarettes called beedies. She wasn't eating right And she was drinking. She said she felt nauseated all the time because she knew she wasn't taking care of herself properly. Don't matter, because she Faith Evans right now, and she still got to be Faith Evans, whether she throwing up or not. Every once in a while, I would go to the apartment that the members of 112 were living in over on Broadway and 54th. Puff had signed the quartet soon after their audition in Atlanta, and just as I'd predicted, I'd become very cool with all of them. Sometimes I'd bring groceries to their apartment and make them fried fish or pork chops and macaroni and cheese. Pause. Well, we know Puff ain't giving them enough money to eat, so good for you, because like I said before, babe, you the only motherfucking bad boy getting paid. Soon after I moved out, Big left to go on a huge tour. Every act who was big in hip-hop and R&B was scheduled to be on this tour. Naughty by Nature, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, The Brat, Junior Mafia, Total. The established acts like Jodeci and Mary were being paid. Some of the newer acts were performing for free as part of promoting their new music. It's customary for new artists to go out on tour and open up for the headliners as a way of getting exposure. And usually they are given a small daily stipend for meals, but there is no payment for actually performing. Mark Pitts called me up soon after the tour began. Faith, you need to get your bags packed so you can get ready to join the tour. Can you find out how much Puffy's going to pay me for each date? I asked. I had a single that had sold over 500,000 units. Yeah, I know you don't expect for me, the Faith, to open up for the rest of these acts. And I'm good, baby, because I got my own tour going on, and I know I get paid for them. I know this. But if I go on tour with Puffy and them, you saying I'm just going to be an opening act, and that means I won't get paid, I'll pass. I was not about to give up good money to perform for free, but this is a great opportunity for you, Faith, he said. Nothing? Well, then I'm not going to be able to go. I really think you should, Mark said. There was something in his voice that made me uneasy. Why? Why do I have to tour and not be paid anything? Mark hesitated. I just think it's a good idea. It'll be good exposure for you. You need to perform at larger venues. And Puff really wants you to do it. I realized that if Puff wanted me to do something, Mark was going to try to make it happen. If Puff wants me to do it, Mr. Mark, then maybe Puff should pay me. That's how I feel. If Puff really wants me to do it, then Puff should really pay me. Other than that, Puff, be gone. I realized that if Puff wanted me to do something, Mark was going to try to make it happen. I wanted a manager whose main goal was getting the best deals for me. Mark and I got along great, and I really liked his easygoing and respectful personality. It was a good antidote to Puff's intensity. But he was not only my husband's manager, which could be seen as a potential conflict. He was Puff's boy. This was going to be a decision I would have to make on my own. Mark, your manager is going to do what's best for Puffy, not Faith. I'm sorry, Mark, I said. I'm not touring for free. Mark sighed heavily into the phone. Aye, Faith, he said. I'll let Puff know you're not interested in touring. No, Mr. Mark. It's not that she's not interested in touring. It's that she's not interested in touring for free, Mr. Mark. She over here getting paid to go on tour, whether it's small venues or not. She's getting paid. You want her to decide to go over there to a bigger venue and not get paid? Fuck them bigger venues. I'm getting paid over here. I'm going over here, Mark. Yeah, he got me. I knew what that meant. I'd be hearing from Puff soon, and I was not looking forward to that. That's because she said Puffy got the trickery to him, and he'd be talking all fast, and you been said yeah to some shit you don't even know what you said yeah to. I get it, because that's how them demons do. That's how them demons with them thick thighs and knock knees do. It's sorcery. That's what they do. They sorcerize your ass. I was driving to the studio one afternoon and turned to Hot 97 to listen to radio DJ Wendy Williams. Lil' Kim was her guest on the show. She was supposed to be promoting Junior Mafia's recently released album, but Wendy has always been known for trying to get good, juicy gossip from her guests. She asked Kim something about her relationship with Big. I turned the radio up as loud as it would go. Isn't Big married to Faith Evans? Wendy asked. Kim laughed. Please. She said they broke up. They not wearing no wedding rings. She moved out. They ain't together no more. Remember when I told you that she moved out? She took her daughter's shit. I'm not trying to equate her child with her husband, but it's clear that she cares about her child because she took her child's things with her. I know that, she couldn't take everything, but there's a sentiment. Okay, if his watches is there, take his watches. If his underwear is there, take his socks, underwear, and t-shirts. That's enough to say that, okay, bring your ass. You have to grab your husband's stuff too so that he knows where he belongs is with you. When you leave all this shit there, that says that you have left him. And that's why Kim made that statement. Kim laughed. Please, she said. They broke up. They not wearing no wedding rings. She moved out. They ain't together no more. I was stunned. Why the F was Kim on the radio telling people about my business with Big? And why did she sound so gleeful that we were having some problems in our marriage? That night, I ran into Doobie and Creamy. Yo, y'all heard Kim on the radio today, I asked. They both nodded, but didn't make direct eye contact with me. The way she sounded, I said, you would think she was fucking Big or something. Creamy and Doobie didn't say a word. They just looked at me. Oh, I know that look. 'Cause, baby, when I look at somebody, honey, that just it. And just like that, it dawned on me. All this time, Big had been hunching Kim. And it took a year for my dumb ass to figure it out. So many things began swirling in my head. The late nights that he was in the studio with Kim and the rest of Junior Mafia, the tour he was on with her at that very moment, the ride back to Brooklyn when she made a point to tell me that Big was like her brother. Big telling me to take her to the gym and go shopping. They both played me out big time. Big had never explicitly said that he wasn't messing with her. I'd never asked. And it wasn't just Kim either. Right before I found out the truth about Big and Kim, Junior Mafia was about to shoot a new video for a song called Get Money. In the song, Big is berating a woman who wants him solely for his money. I remember being in the studio when he and Junior Mafia recorded it. It was a catchy song and I knew it had potential to be a big hit. But when the song came out, people assumed that Big was dissing me. He had a line describing the girl, tattoo on her titty saying B.I.G., but that was the only thing I had in common with the fictional character in the song. And Big and I were together and happy when he recorded it. In the video, the main female, the girl Tiffany Chick, was wearing a blonde wig and a fur coat. And Big and everyone in Junior Mafia was dissing her and ended up throwing her out of the house. Some people, including industry folks, assumed that the song was about me. And having this girl in the video wearing a wig in my trademark platinum blonde color just sealed the deal. So between realizing the truth about Big and Kim and having to deal with people thinking this Tiffany chick was supposed to be portraying me in a video, I was too through and ready to beat some ass. Looking back, I can't believe I voluntarily went to the Wendy Williams show to talk about this new beef with Kim. It's not something that I would ever do today. Airing out my personal grievances on the radio was not a smart move. But at the time, my good judgment was clouded by anger. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I was going to get Kimberly Jones's ass. And I felt that she and the rest of Wendy's listening audience should know. You have something you want to say about Lil' Kim's comments yesterday? Wendy asked. I pulled up close to the microphone and leaned in. The only thing I have to say is, Kim, you better watch your back. 'Cause when I see you, it's on. And what about the rumors that he's messing with some chick from Philly? Wendy asked. Yeah, there's some illy from Philly out there. Okay, pause. We know. Well, actually, I didn't know that Charlie Baltimore was from Philadelphia. I didn't know that. I literally thought that Charlie Baltimore was from Baltimore. Her name, Charlie Baltimore, is actually... Lulu and his allergies, I'm about to give him a benefit. Her stage name, Charlie Baltimore, is actually a character that Gina Davis played in, I think it's A Long Kiss Goodnight. Now let me segue into this. Girl, why you threatening that lady like that? You know Biggie don't want her. She ain't light-skinned. She ain't 10 feet tall. Why you threatening her? Lil' Kim don't stand a chance with the Big. Y'all, has Biggie ever openly claimed Lil' Kim? Ever? That's why she fucked up. And I ain't even mad at her for being that way. I really ain't. Because even though, you don't do that now. That colorism stuff, baby. You better don't. Okay? Even though it still silently exists. But back then, when Lil' Kim was in love with Christopher Wallace, colorism was bold, loud, flagrant, and disrespectful. So I ain't mad at Lil' Kim for being fucked up. From the radio station, I went to confront Big. He was staying at a hotel in Manhattan as usual. What's up with you and Kim? I asked, trying hard to keep my voice steady. As usual, Big didn't hesitate, not even for 1 second. Yeah, we get down like that. All this time, I asked. You been fucking this girl all this time? Yeah, he said. There was nothing left to say.
Hey, do my favorite go-go song. Taking a ride on the east side, made a left on MLK. What a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. Riding high on the west side, looking for a hood rat to play. Won't you come out and play, won't you come out and play. Hey, taking a ride, hey, hey, on the south side, ooh, ooh, MLK. Hey, 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 we like that good.